Engineers and forensics experts who were given unprecedented access to the Simpson-Goldman murder scene have assembled this scenario.
You're seeing an overhead aerial shot of the Bundy Drive geometry of this section of town where you can see there's a number of condos side by side. This area is where the murder occurs. In reality, it's covered up with trees. There are steps and a gate and a dirt area beside the front entryway and a patio. But we took the tree out so you could see that. Now we're going to put the tree in because the night of the murder, the tree provides incredible shade and it's extremely dark in this area. At this point, Mr. Goldman comes up to the gate, punches it, and rings the doorbell. Nicole Simpson leaves her condo, and she actually leaves the front door ajar to come down and open the gate. There's obviously a speakerphone, and she knows who her visitor is. Literally, the assailant has to come from the patio area, or the physical arrangements of the subjects make no sense. The way he attacks them immobilizes them both. He hits the right side of Mr. Goldman's face with his left hand, and does so very hard. There's a substantial bruise on the right side of his face. Simultaneously, or very soon thereafter, we believe the assailant hits Nicole Simpson on the left side of her face with the butt of his knife, the pommel. And that knocks her right side of her head into the wall. We believe that knocks her out, which enables the assailant now to come down and deal with the number one threat, which is the young, able, and in pretty good shape Mr. Goldman. We postulate that he puts the point of the knife behind Mr. Goldman's head and actually uses the knife like a fork with his hand over the mouth to raise Mr. Goldman to his feet. The medical examiner has testified that that wound alone would have been sufficient to kill Mr. Goldman if nothing else had been done to him. It's obvious from the medical evidence that the assailant has a hand over Mr. Goldman's mouth, is having a talk with Mr. Goldman, and is emphasizing his points with the knife. The next fatal blow received by Mr. Goldman is a plunge right over his heart, hitting him in the left side of his torso. Another thrust, again from the back, upwards under the rib cage, which is also a fatal thrust. And he takes a final knife blow in this side, another fatal wound. And we postulate he falls away into the fence. We see abrasion marks down the back of his scalp, which we believe is a result of falling down the fence. And then he falls over, and that is literally the position he is found by the police the next morning. With Mr. Goldman dealt with, the assailant is now free to turn his attention to Nicole. The assailant uses the same technique to lift her as he does Mr. Goldman. Hand over mouth, most important. It's clear, again, that the assailant is talking to Nicole Simpson. The reason we know this is before the final fatal cut of her throat, there are 3 other small cuts on her throat, parallel to where the fatal blow is going to be administered. It's clearly, again, torture. The final cut across her throat is going to be delivered with her head cocked substantially back. And the strength in that cut is enormous. And by that I mean she is going to receive a single slice to the front of the throat that is going to be so deep it is going to nick her spinal cord. That requires tremendous strength for a single cut. I don't care how sharp your knife is. The assailant notices he has lost his wool cap. And in the animation, he touches his head. Unlike our animation, which has got enough light level for you to see what's going on, in the real scene, this was very, very dark, and it's a dark wool cap. He's trying to feel for the wool cap. He can't feel anything through the gloves. He has to take the gloves off to feel for the wool cap. By taking off both gloves and not being careful about it, he actually ends up leaving a glove behind and not retrieving the wool cap. We speculate that something disturbed him in his search and cut it short, whether it be a dog barking or some neighbor's voice or something. When the investigators arrive, they're going to find Nicole's body in this position, Mr. Goldman's in this one. They're going to find the knit skull cap here. They're going to find a glove very close by it, Mr. Goldman's pager, and his keys are all going to be found in these relative positions. We believe this to be the most detailed reconstruction done to date. We hope it remains the standard by which all other reconstructions are judged by, even the prosecutions.
Of course, an animation from the O.J. Simpson defense team would show a different conclusion. But for this animation, failure investigators used evidence presented in court, autopsy reports, and detailed data they gathered from the scene of the murders.
The medical evidence is literally the most important to establishing this scenario of the crime. The choreography, the movement of the characters through the scene has been driven by the medical evidence, because the choreography has to produce the wounds and they have to be produced in a certain order. The hat is found with, I believe the number is 26 African-American hairs in it. There doesn't seem to be any contrary testimony or even dispute over the hat as belonging to the assailant. So we merely followed the physical evidence of the scene.
So why is it so hard for the majority, if we believe the polls, of white America and a fairly decent number of black Americans to believe you?
Tough question. One, I don't believe the polls, for one, judging by the people that I've been exposed to, both white and black Americans. But since the polls, the negative part of the polls, as far as I'm concerned, is white America, I can tell you, everywhere I've gone, I've been welcomed and treated with respect. And the general the sentiment that I get, not only in my front yard, or I should say on the street outside of my front yard, or when I go into restaurants, and especially when I went to Panama City, the people were truly tremendous down there. They made me feel welcome. They made me, I think the general sentiment, and I get it outside of the walls of my house from people, from women, white women from Iowa and Georgia, even South Africa, hey, you know, go on, you know. They say congratulations, which is a tough thing to accept, but go on with your life, get your kids, and, you know, keep your head up high. The reason why, and we can go into it, I think the media. I think the media is the main reason why America is feeling the way they're feeling, because I don't think the media was given, I don't think the public saw when they came home from work or whatever they were doing at the end of the day and sat down and watched the news and watched some of these talk shows, they were lied to.
It's going to be very hard for people to accept that when they see the Brentwood butcher signs, the guilty signs hanging in the neighborhood that you lived in for years and years. The people that yelled out, "Killer in this neighborhood, we don't want you anymore." Now, are you suggesting that that didn't happen?
No, what I'm not only suggesting, what I am telling you is that night, if that was said, I didn't hear it, but someone said that night a group came. I would tell you that the majority of those people in that group was not from Brentwood. And I would ask any news media out there, you go back and you look at the video of that ride home. You look at me coming down Sunset. You look at me arriving at my home. The vast majority, I'm telling you, 95% of the people were clapping and giving me a thumbs up sign. Bob Kardashian and I, Bob was actually counting what he thought were negative reactions, and he said he counted 5 or 6. Now, there may have been a group of people in that 5 or 6. We saw 2 negative signs. We saw tons of welcome home OJ signs, yet the only thing that the media showed you that night were the Butcher of Brentwood sign that was near the freeway and another sign that said murder.
I suspect, though, Mr. Simpson, that you've got to be hurting in the sense of, and I don't know if you're putting the best face on it with that, the idea that the country club you belonged to for years said they didn't want you anymore.
Well, they didn't tell me that, but I'm sure there are people there that feel that way.
Your management company that represented you?
Once again, you know, it's I think the thing that I'm most disappointed in is the lack of backbone of organizations and people. This is America. I went through this ordeal, this grueling ordeal. It was horrible, and I sat there and I tried to do it with some dignity. The toughest thing was holding my friends and my family, my sisters. It was tough at times to hold them down and say, hey, we'll get through this. And I see people who will say one thing to me, yet they'll put a different public face on. And once again, we get into the media. You say my management company dumped me. What management company dumped me? They tried to sign me 15 years ago, and I wouldn't sign with them. They have not had a contract with me for 15 years because I wouldn't sign a contract for 15 years. Most of my business deals, I negotiate myself. Sometimes there are business deals that come to me that I think a certain person at this particular company is best at. He is my friend. He is still to this day my friend. And I will say, actually Jack. It's Jack Gilardi. I'd say, Jack, here's the deal. A couple of times he has brought me deals, but I did not have a contract with this company because I wouldn't sign a contract with this company because I felt that I was the best person to negotiate my deals, and as I said, in a few instances, I would allow them to do it.
Do you at all understand the skepticism that people have? The doubt that they continue to have?
It's almost impossible if you are... I guess what I see people with a lot of negativism in them. Negative people with a bony axe. I think I am now every certain group of women, I should say, out there who has had a bad experience with a man, who's been in an abusive relationship. I have become their whipping boy. You know, I am the guy that they look at. I guess if I had to read what I've read, if I watched these shows and I heard every night them misrepresenting evidence in this case, I mean, totally misrepresenting evidence and just flat out lying. I don't want to, I know they got advertisements for my video, but I talk about specific people in this country who has gone on TV and just flat out lied to the American public.
Well, Mr. Simpson, here's the problem that people are having. Let's take two of the issues that you just mentioned. The idea that you have admitted to being in an abusive relationship with Nicole at one point in time.
Yeah, we had an abusive incident in our life, and we've had plenty of arguments, which I think any couple that's been together for any length of time will the worst thing you can have that you can ever have is have your argument taped. I would say anybody out there that's married or that's in a relationship, just turn a tape recorder on the next time you have an argument and play it back. You will not believe that was you.
But stay with me because you even admitted at one point of actually getting physical, and you said you regretted that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
There are people who suggest that if you aren't guilty of murder, you're certainly guilty of abuse, spousal abuse, and that America should turn its back on you because of that.
Well, I think we're looking at pretty much the same, we go to the same thing about this verdict. In 1989, I was involved in an argument that got physical in my home. I feel I was wrong. I feel I should have handled the situation a lot better. I didn't make any excuses. I went through the legal system. I made no excuses there. They gave me, I guess, a fine or penalty. They gave me, I had to do community service. I did it all. My wife and I, at that time, went on with our life. We had a very close relationship. We talked about it. We went to therapy together. We went to therapy away from one another because it was a very traumatic incident in our lives for us. I paid my dues for whatever that crime was. If it was a crime, I paid my dues. I've gone on with my life. What I want to know is, I saw a group a week or so ago. I
tell you what, I tell you what, I want you to get the story in, and I want to continue on that same line, but rather than interrupt you in the middle, we're going to take a break and we'll come back. Okay. Back in just a moment.
Do you want to know why new Soft and Beautiful Conditioning Relaxer is better? Just listen.
Well, I've used Optimum and Dark and Lovely, but nothing works better for my hair than the new Soft and Beautiful. It's just better.
Well, you know, most relaxers I use leave my hair dull and dry looking, but with the new Soft and Beautiful, my hair is soft, straight, and shiny. It's just better.
This relaxer conditions better than any other relaxer I've ever tried. All I can say is, if you try it once, you'll never use anything else.
The new Soft and Beautiful is just better.
Pills take time to dissolve, but the effervescent power of Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine is ready the moment you take it to relieve your worst cold symptoms.
Today I'd like to talk to you.
Nothing rushes relief like Alka-Seltzer Plus.
The expression causes elation as Black Cat shows appreciation in rhyme for the art form that exceeds all boundaries of time. It must be jazz.
Hi, I'm Steve O'Brien. Millions of Americans suffer from negative credit ratings, maybe due to a job loss, separation or divorce, an illness, billing dispute, or family crisis. Call National Credit now at 1-800-YES-CREDIT. That's 1-800-YES-CREDIT. Operators are standing by right now to give you the confidential information you may need to get back into the credit system. So all consumers who've ever had a credit problem, call National Credit at 1-800-YES-CREDIT for your confidential analysis.
I never itemized before. Jackson Hewitt not only got it done, they got me a loan on my refund in 2 days.
I don't mind paying for quality. Jackson Hewitt did a better job in less time. Plus, I got my money faster, too.
You know, it's funny. Jackson Hewitt found deductions no one ever asked about. Got my refund faster, too.
Back with more with O.J. Simpson. Mr. Simpson, we were talking about the problems that you and your wife had at one time, abuse. You were telling us that it was a one-time incident and you all went to therapy, you paid for therapy, you tried to work this out. Part of the confusion comes in the things that were brought out by the media, and perhaps you'd like to explain this, the things found in a safety deposit box, the letters she had written, the concern that she had told to friends about abusive relationships, etc., etc.
Well, one, I can't really talk about evidence in the case because I'm on a contract with the people that I did the video with, and of course I'm in a deposition, but I'll try to talk as much as I can around this particular issue. I think you have to look very closely at the people who claim these things were said. And also, I think you have to, when the time comes, hopefully in this trial, this alleged diary, I think you're going to be real surprised to see what it really was and what it really is. And it was, not exactly what the press has purported it to be. I can say this. And I hope Tony Hoffman, who did this video, will forgive me for this little bit that I have, that I might say that's on the video. After the '89 incident, I think it's pretty clear, and everything that Nicole may have stated in our divorce decree, what she might have stated even during an argument we had in 1993, that O.J. has never touched me since that time. I think it's very clear that when Nicole and I was apart, that when she had some very emotional issues with the men that she was involved with, she came to me. I don't think a woman would do that if she felt that this person was insensitive or abusive and certainly not jealous or possessive. If, even when we were divorced and apart, that when she had personal problems, she came to me, and these are all very provable things that you will be hearing about in this. And so
all of the things that we've heard about you stalking and intimidating, all of those things you say are incorrect?
Totally BS, and once again on this video you will hear that.
I tell you what though, let me stay with the video for a moment. Yes. Then I tell you what bothers some people, Mr. Simpson.
Yes.
And I wanted to save this for later, but since we're here, people will say to you, if you're innocent, and indeed you want to tell your story, why do I have to pay $29 to hear it?
Well, one, because at one point I couldn't speak. I wanted to speak on NBC. And that is the only aborted interview I've ever done.
Right.
I mean, I ever was involved in. I hear the press say, well, every member of the press, the legitimate press, they've all said, well, he's backed out of 2. CNN will tell you I'd never negotiated with any person at CNN to do an interview. I spoke with Greta Van Susteren, a person I have a lot of respect for, and I said when the day comes that I could speak on the record about everything that's in all the evidence and everything that's in this case, that because of my respect for her and her respect for the Constitution, I would sit down with her and do that. But I've reached a point where I have to support my family. I have to send a check each month for my kids. I'm the sole supporter of my kids. Hopefully in the not too distant future, I'll be supporting them at my home. But to this day, I'm the sole supporter of my kids. I hope to be able to send them to college one day. There are people out there that don't want me to earn a living in any way, shape, or form. They want to run me. I don't know where they want to run me to. But I'm an American. This is my country. I think I've been a good American. I'm just as innocent as any of them. I should have the right to support my family and earn a living, and they have been blocking me or attempting to block me in every other avenue, every legitimate avenue that I have attempted to go down, and this was an opportunity that was presented to me, and if you want to hear it, you buy it. If you don't want to hear it, don't buy it.
For a man who crafted an image, and you said earlier that you really negotiated your deals. You crafted, whether it was with you from your USC days and it went on, or whether it was partly Hollywood, because we are here in the land of dreams and visions, you crafted an all-American image for yourself. So you're very image conscious. So in saying that, I would think, as you look at, for instance, the things that you have been criticized, and you say you want the opportunity, so let's deal with some of those. The homecoming party. The idea that the first attempt was pay-per-view. You were going to speak out in pay-per-view.
Wait. Let's just get one thing straight.
All right.
Where is it that my first attempt? My first attempt was NBC. That was my first attempt, NBC. And I spoke on NBC, but I had for the first time, or just about the first time, in the 16-month ordeal that I went to, that all of my lawyers were unanimous for the first time on one thing. Not only my lawyers, but my new lawyers who were coming into the case, that, O.J., you should not do this. They were concerned about a lot of things. One of the main things that Johnny Cochran was concerned about is the fact that I had gone 16 months taking sleeping pills every night. I was coming down from that I really hadn't had time to adjust. My new lawyers, Bob Baker and Phil Baker, they felt that they would prefer to have time with me, to talk to me, to explain to me what might be problems in the upcoming civil litigation. And until they did that and had time to look at the evidence in this case, because they had followed it, but, you know, they had their own, I guess they had their own, you know, cases that they were doing. They weren't that totally up on it, but let's take some time. Let's understand what we're facing in the future before you go on TV to speak. Even F. Lee Bailey, who wanted me to speak from day one, came on board and said, O.J., you shouldn't do this at this time, and that's why I didn't do it at that time.
But I'm hearing people who were in your corner from day one say to me, I do have a problem with him selling pictures to the star, having that party. Maybe he should have just come home and been quiet with his...
I'm not going to talk about the party, but I hope, Ed, that I get a chance to sit down with you after the video is out, and then we'll talk about that party, that alleged party.
Well, stay with me on that party, the alleged party, because that had nothing to do with the trial. The trial was over. You were a free man at that point.
Ed, when you see the video, I'll come back on your show, and we'll talk about that alleged party. I explained that entire thing, and I think it's quite reasonable what took place then.
Fred Goldman.
Yes.
Says this week that you won't look him in the eye during the deposition that you're giving. He has been very vocal, perhaps the most vocal person on that side about your participation in the murders, his thought of your participation. They say they won't look in tonight, but certainly they'll hear about it. What can you say to him? What can you tell him?
Well, I can't, you know...
to convince him that you didn't do this.
No, let me say this. Fred Goldman, like all the families in Oklahoma City, like any person this year, and this happening every day all over this country, I have compassion for Fred Goldman for losing a son. I lost a daughter, and now I lost what I feel, as I have stated before, next to my mom, my most favorite person on this earth, Nicole. That portion, I have some sympathy and empathy. I can feel that side of him. I have a side of me that's very angry at Fred Goldman and the Browns, because I know if the shoe was on the other foot and I felt the way they felt, I would save at least 5 or 10% and say, just in case I'm wrong, Gil Garcetti, what the hell are you doing closing this case? We know that some of your people lied, and why did they lie? So I'm a little, there's a side of me that's a little pissed at Fred Goldman and the Browns for that portion of it, that even if they think I'm 100% guilty and they're going to do what they're going to do, and if I was in their shoes, I would probably do exactly what they're doing right now. But I know if I was in their shoes, I wouldn't let LAPD, Gil Garcetti, and these people off the hook. I'd say, hey, there still may be a killer out there. I know there is. And I feel in many ways that they're handicapping whatever efforts that are being made right now to find who may have done this that's out there.
That is an emotional, it's obvious to hear you now, that's an emotional thorn in your side from that family, and I suspect more importantly and more especially the Brown family.
Yeah, I'd say that's true. The Brown family, Judy and Lou, I love them, and I think they're great grandparents. The rest of the family, I think what they've done and what I know for a fact that they've done has been very self-serving. I don't think they've been true to the memory of Nicole, who she was. I know in some cases that pictures that were sold to the rags, unflattering pictures by one of her sisters, and when that day comes, we will address that. It hurts me to know that my daughter Sydney may have to, you know, be exposed to that one day, and someone who's supposed to have loved them made money from that. That upsets me.
You talk about the LAPD closing the case. That obviously says something about what they think, that they truly don't believe that there's another killer out there.
Hey, let me just make one point. When you say LAPD, and that's been an unfortunate thing that has happened in this case. When you say LAPD, it's not every person at LAPD. You got a small group of people at LAPD that I blame. I've had police officers since I've been out. One on a motorcycle drive up on me, gave me a thumbs up, did his thing, and mouthed to me, "You got screwed." I had 2 police officers outside of my house tell me I got screwed. So it is not everybody with LAPD. I've heard this junk from Chief Willie Williams, and especially a guy that I think is one of the cause of this problem, whatever problem from Rodney King to myself that's happened in this town, Daryl Gates.
And when you say junk, I suspect you mean, well, the
propaganda, okay? I was just trying to clean it up a little bit. Go on TV time and time again and tell me about what police officers would and would not do. When I was sitting in jail, it was amazing to me, right after the Furman thing began to unfold, how many 17 and 20-year LAPD police officers that Willie Williams took their badges from them for forging evidence, lying, forging evidence in capital cases. Yet I got to hear, on another hand, that they don't do this stuff. This stuff doesn't happen. I'm hearing now that, I can't find the word, Furman. I guess they're looking into Mark Furman now, and
whether he perjured himself.
Yeah, whether he perjured himself, but more importantly, I can't think of the legal term, whether it was germane, I guess is not the legal term, to the case. And I'm saying the same people that I see on TV saying that a black jury let a black man go, and that is because of race, but they're saying it's not germane, this man's hatred for blacks.
Let's get into race in just a moment. We're going to take another break, give you a chance to gather your thoughts, and we'll be back in just a moment.
I never itemized before. Jackson Hewitt not only got it done, they got me a loan on my refund in 2 days.
I don't mind paying for quality. Jackson Hewitt did a better job in less time. Plus, I got my money faster, too.
You know, it's funny. Jackson Hewitt found deductions no one ever asked about. Got my refund faster, too.
Stay with BET and tell us what you think about the O.J. Simpson interview during a special viewer call-in show at 11.
If you love pizza, give me $5 pizza from Salvatore's. Give me 5.
Oh, yeah.
Sure sounds good to me.
Give me 5.
And how? $5, yes, sirree. Give me 5.
Oh, boy.
Just wait till you have a taste. Give me 5, it's so good. $5, never tasted so great.
Throw away all your coupons. This is the best deal in town every day. Pick up a large cheese pizza, $5. Salvatore's!
Had enough of your old mattress? Get rid of it and get to Unclaimed Freight, where there's a huge selection of discounted mattresses, $18 to $99. Tired of looking at that worn-out living room set? Get rid of it. Unclaimed Freight has discounted living rooms, $70 to $1,500. Truckloads of futons from $79. Bunk beds from $69. Day beds from $79. Truckloads of water beds from $99. Bedrooms from $188. Coffee tables from $33. And bed frames from $18 each. 811 Lake Avenue at Lexington and our new location at 40 Commerce Drive opposite Marketplace Mall.
We're back coming to you live with O.J. Simpson, his first televised interview since his acquittal. Mr. Simpson, one of the things that I wanted to get to before we get too far off the LAPD question and the idea of the case being closed, you, through your son on the day you were acquitted, suggested that you would not rest until the killer was found. A lot of people, and address this please, are suggesting that while I don't necessarily think they want you out there hunting for them, but maybe they do, you're spending too much time on a golf course. You're spending too much time making a video. You're spending too much, and you're not doing a thing to find them. Please tell me where you are in that.
Well, first of all, to clear something up, I spent 460-something days, I believe, behind bars. When I came out, I spent 2 weeks literally sitting in a house and in a yard, just getting used to, you know, feeling the sun on my face. My girlfriend at the time, Paula Barbieri, said I should come down to Panama City, which I did. She lived on a golf course, which is my passion, is golf. Play it every day that I can of my life, the last 10 years anyway. I flew down there to see her, and fortunately a friend and some people I didn't know but who believe in America and the jury system, and they only cared about my golf swing. I went on a golf course, and for 2 days I played golf. Physically, I wasn't able to play the third day. I had to quit and watch them play golf. That's the only time I played golf. I enjoyed it. I was out. It was early in the morning. The various people who came by were all positive. I mean, I totally enjoyed it, and I don't understand. I saw where one of our former DAs, Ira Reiner, said that on TV the other night that I was arrogant or whatever, the way I've been acting since I've been out. That's the only thing I've really done socially. I mean, other than going to dinner and going to friends' houses. That's the only thing I've really done.
People want you to be sorrowful.
Yeah.
They want you
I was sorrowful
to grieve. They want you
I will
to...
grieve for the rest of my life, Ed. And I sat and was sorrowful for 400 and something days. I sat in virtual isolation. I didn't talk to another prisoner. I didn't have any other prisoners around me. They had me in a room by myself, in a row by myself. A guy like Stacy Kuhn, who supervised the beating of a human being, that guy spent easier time than I spent and had $4 million waiting for him when he got out of jail. So don't tell me about mourning and suffering. I sat in a cell by myself. They wouldn't let me speak to another prisoner. When I walked down the halls, they made all the other prisoners turn their backs to me. I mourn, and I'm still mourning for the rest of my life. I'll mourn, but I should have the right to go outside. I enjoy golf. I should have the right to play golf. I am just as innocent as Denise Brown, who is having love affairs. I'm just as innocent as you, who I don't know what you do as a hobby, but I'm sure you've been doing it. Yet, physically, I haven't been able to play golf, but if I was physically able to play golf right now, I would have played 12 more times. But I played twice. I've been out 3-4 months now. I played twice, yet they tell me I'm arrogant. I was in my front yard petting my dog one day. They shot me in my front yard petting my dog. They took clips of people like Kathy Randa and Nicole Pulvers coming in my house. They showed on some show on TV that I was being arrogant and I was flaunting my lifestyle. Some guy is standing on his car outside of my wall, shooting me, petting my dog in my front yard, watching people who work for me come in and out of my house, and they're telling me I'm being arrogant and I'm flaunting my lifestyle. They go to this lawyer, Gloria somebody, and she is saying it's preposterous, it's insensitive. What's insensitive? Me petting my dog in my front yard?
Gloria Allred and Ira Reiner, yes. Two people who have been very public about their feeling.
Ira Reiner, a guy who ran for office, part of his ticket was police improprieties or over-exuberance of the police department. He came in, he was the most ineffective DA we've had. I don't think anybody will argue that. He goes on TV and talks about me being arrogant because I played 2 days of golf in the last 2 years. I ain't buying it.
Go back for me to what you're doing to find the killer?
It's difficult. One, because they block my ability to earn money, I only have a few people working on the case.
But you do have people out there working.
Yes. It's also difficult because if they follow a simple lead, a simple follow-up, you get something like you got the last few days. I've heard that O.J.'s lawyers are trying to put out that this serial killer, I can't think of his name, Lynn Rogers, may have killed Nicole. My lawyers have said nothing. I was sitting in my living room. I walk in, I got every lawyer that's working with me on this case sitting in my living room 2 days ago. And they're in there almost laughing at this. And I stop and I see what they're looking at. And they got respectable lawyers, good lawyers. One guy who worked for Bob Kardashian in this case saying, oh, it's preposterous what his lawyers are doing. I asked all of you people who've given that report, name one of my lawyers who've done that. But that's what they do, you know. They make up something that's preposterous. I was told this morning by my sister, they had Ron Shipp on TV saying that we're going after Ron Shipp. Hey, if we are, nobody's told me this. I know none of my lawyers who have been working on this case thus far has made any efforts or made any statements about that, even though we knew I feel that this man perjured himself on the stand. Ron Shipp, and I want to see what he's going to say about the girl that was in the jacuzzi with him. If this was really a friend of his wife's and his, we'll see. I'd like them to go out and find out. You investigative shows, go out and find out if that's the real person that was in there with him.
And I would suspect that you would say everything that Ron Shipp said on the stand was incorrect.
I can't talk about the evidence, but I certainly didn't talk to him about any dream, no.
There was no conversation about a dream with Ron Shipp?
No.
Klaus von Bülow has been compared to your situation in the sense that here's a man who was acquitted of trying to kill his wife. A number of people thought him guilty. When acquitted, he went away. He laid very low. People say, why don't you do that? Why don't you sell the Brentwood estate? Go away for a little while.
Go where? Whether they want me to go to Africa? Is that what some of those people would want? Go where? I live in L.A. I see people, I haven't seen them. I hear there are people in Brentwood that don't want me in Brentwood. Maybe they are. But I would say this. I think I probably lived in Brentwood longer than 90% of them. They're squatters. If they don't want me in Brentwood, they should leave. This is my home. This is where 4 of my kids was raised. This is where my 2 younger kids were born. This is where I lost a baby. This is my home. And if I can't sit in my front yard and these people are standing on their cars with their video cameras and they're telling me I'm not laying low, how much lower do I have to lay? How much lower do I have to lay? I went to, as I say, Panama City. A golf course is supposed to be this sanctity of serenity. You know, I'm on a golf course with 4 people early in the morning, a golf course that never has a crowd, and the media is chasing me there. If I wave at some people, there was a lot of positive people. They came out, I wave at them. The media, I think the Newsweek puts, oh, he's flaunting the glove. I'm on a golf course. I'm wearing a golf glove, you know. How much lower should I lay? I'm at home 99% of the time. I went and visited my girlfriend once and played golf 2 days in the last, 4 months now. How much lower should I lay?
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back in just a minute.
Carrie Novak won't waste a minute battling her cold. Pills take time to dissolve, so she'll rush relief with the effervescent power of Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. It's ready the moment you take it, rushing powerful medicines to soothe your aches, relieve your runny nose, free your breathing.
Okay, now, today I'd like to talk to you.
Nothing rushes relief like Alka-Seltzer Plus. Or rush relief with new great-tasting orange-flavored Alka-Seltzer Plus.
I never itemized before. Jackson Hewitt not only got it done, they got me a loan on my refund in 2 days.
I don't mind paying for quality. Jackson Hewitt did a better job in less time. Plus, I got my money faster, too.
You know, it's funny. Jackson Hewitt found deductions no one ever asked about. Got my refund faster, too.
Why would you want to live in this dark world? Step into the light with silk and mist pantyhose from Legs. Sexy, sheer, luminous. Illuminate your legs and be beautiful. Irresistibly sheer, irresistibly you. Silken mist. Nothing beats a great pair of legs.
Hi, I'm Steve O'Brien. Millions of Americans suffer from negative credit ratings, maybe due to a job loss, separation or divorce, an illness, billing dispute, or family crisis. Call National Credit now at 1-800-YES-CREDIT. That's 1-800-YES-CREDIT. Operators are standing by right now to give you the confidential information you may need to get back into the credit system. So all consumers who've ever had a credit problem, call National Credit at 1-800-YES-CREDIT for your confidential analysis.
If you would like to purchase a transcript of the Simpson interview, please send $8 to Burrell's Transcripts, Post Office Box 7, Livingston, New Jersey, 07039-0007. To order by phone, please call 1-800-777-8398.
Back more with O.J. Simpson. Mr. Simpson, let me ask you this. We talked about trying to be reacclimated, if you will, to freedom and getting back into society. Do you ever think that you'll see normalcy in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I do believe that as time goes on, I think time, as they say, heals all wounds, but you know, this is America. I believe in people, and despite what the polls tell you, you know, obviously, what I call the black community have been so supportive. And you said something earlier about what I'm doing. Maybe I have to be more visual. Maybe I have to, just be more visual about some of the things I do. I didn't feel that I needed to bring attention to myself in the past, but I am so appreciative of the support I've gotten from the community. At the same time, white America, the calls I get now, I think 60% are probably white, and it's almost a shame that they have to identify themselves as, I'm a white American, I'm a white 60-year-old lady. And,
but Mr. Simpson, let's be fair. Most of the people that, perhaps not yourself, but those of us on the outside see, talk to white Americans, believe you're guilty.
But I can't take that as just an overall white Americans. Maybe there's a lot of them out there that do, but I know a lot of them have been very supportive. And I think in the long run, we'll look at this decision. We do have a jury system that has worked for 200 years. I don't think anything like this has ever happened before, where all of a sudden they're questioning the jury system because of one trial. But and it's going to last for hopefully 200 more years. And I don't think I'll ever be doing ads on TV. I hear these guys said he's trying to get his image back. Let me tell you something. I have not hired a PR department. I mean, all these other people are trying to raise money on TV to fight me. They hired police departments. I'm watching people that are supposed to have fair and equal talk shows telling my lawyers to come on their talk shows if they're ready. Yet they've taken a side. They've made it clear to the American public who they support. They'll take an ad for the Browns or the Goldmans, and they'll put a number on that TV for you to send money to help fight O.J. in court. Essentially, that's what it's for. The legal funds to fight O.J. At the same time, when our people go on that show, even to try to buy ads on that show so that I can earn the money to support myself in a court of law, they won't allow that. Now, you tell me, is that a prejudice? What is that? When a network will do that, when a network or a local station, I saw KTLA one day had the Goldman Fund or the Brown Fund on TV so that you can send money to fight O.J. Simpson in court. Yet we try to buy time on that show so I can earn my own money to defend myself in court. They don't give me that. Now, you tell me that's the American way? You tell me that this network or this show is being fair and equal, and that all people in this country are equal and have an equal right? No, there's something wrong there. And that's why I'm faced with what I'm faced with now, because they've taken a side and they I guess, present themselves as being legitimate when and they're not. They're not unbiased.
I've got a hard break in 3 minutes. I want to get this in before we have to take that break. The idea that you have to deal with your children. Talk to them about what has happened. People want to know, how are you doing that, and whether or not they have any doubt in their minds.
Well, you know, obviously my son is so young, I don't really think he's thought about it. That was the toughest thing for me that first week, is that when I had both kids, they seemed so happy and they were so loving, and they weren't even aware of what happened. That they had lost Nicole, who was just an incredible mother. I mean, she was, you know, like my mom, I think Nicole was the most attentive mother I've ever known. But my kids are loving kids. When they're with me, they want to have fun. You know, we love each other. I love them. They love me. I think the toughest thing for me to deal with right now is the thought that maybe I'm going to have to fight for them, which is amazing to me, because there's one thing Nicole was always quite adamant about, was that I was a great father. And whenever, even after we were split, if she was taking a trip, she'd call me first before she called her mother to keep the kids. Yet I suspect that we may see them try to, you know, take my kids from them, which I can't believe could happen. I've seen in America, I've seen kids being torn away from foster parents, you know, going to their paternal parents, and I just can't imagine that happening, and hopefully it won't.
The deposition that you're involved with this week, there are reports that there are conflicting stories now. That's what the media is reporting. I just want to give you an opportunity. We've heard that side. I know you're not going to talk about, obviously, what you've talked about in the deposition, but you feel confident that you are not giving any conflicting stories from what was told in your criminal trial to what you told the last 3 days.
Let me say this. I'd be willing for them to take my last 3 days of depositions, Bobby Airy's deposition, show that to a jury and let the jury decide.
All right.
I'll do that, guys. I know they're watching. I'll do that, guys.
All right, I'll take a break. We'll come back in just a moment.
Stay on top of what's going on inside the walls of Congress with the new BET News segment on Capitol Hill with Janet Blanghart, starting this Friday at 6.
Aaron's is really different than ordinary rent-to-own stores.
It's bigger.
It's bigger.
You could get lost in here. Excuse me, do you think you could help me find my husband? This place is so big. Lots more merchandise. And we own it just 12 months.
And Aaron's costs less.
Costs less.
They guarantee the lowest rental purchase price.
Anything you want, anytime you want it at Aaron. We got it for less.
Catalano Travel takes you around the world for less. Our professional staff can handle all your business and pleasure travel needs on the spot. Catalano Travel guarantees you customized personal services and the best discounts available. Next time that you travel, come to Catalano Travel to save in the purchase of your tickets by air, land, or cruises. Catalano Travel, trademark of excellence.
Back with O.J. Simpson. Mr. Simpson, I know, and I've attempted to, some tonight, deal with some issues that your attorneys have suggested we not deal with. But I do want to get your idea on what people talked about as relates to, quote-unquote, all of the circumstantial evidence. All of the quote-unquote blood evidence, the conflicting stories that were told about where you were when the limo driver pulled up, whether you were indeed asleep in the shower, chipping golf balls, etc.
Well, I can't talk specifically about that, but let me tell you, there's no conflicting stories. It's been somewhat disconcerting watching TV the other night and seeing DAs from around the country, one from Georgia, a blonde, who was saying, it's just totally amazing to me that they can go on TV and not know anything, and for an hour just talk and pontificate about things they know nothing about. I watched the entire show the other day where they were experts who didn't know anything about what happened in this deposition, analyzing what might have been said in this deposition. Once again, I don't think there were any conflicting stories at all. I gave, people talk about giving an interview, no-holds-barred tough interview. I gave a no-holds-barred tough interview without a lawyer in the room for 33 minutes to the LAPD. And the prosecution did everything they could possibly do not to let that in court. Our lawyers from time to time, time after time, tried to get that statement on the record in court, and they didn't want it on the record in the court. And I'll tell you, there's nothing, in my opinion, nothing conflicting.
And in that 33 minutes, if we were to obtain that tape, we would know where you were during that time?
What's interesting is every question they asked me, I don't know what they're going at. I'm hoping that they can get me out of the way and go after and find who did this. Everything they asked me, I answered as honestly as I could and as accurately as I could.
Were you chipping golf balls? Were
I don't
you
want to
asleep?
talk about that. It's on the video. Exactly what I was doing is on the video.
Well, give America something for free, Mr. Simpson.
Well, I've given them a lot for free. I mean, as I gave them a 33-minute interview for free. It's the prosecution, the LADA's office, that didn't want to give it to them on the record for free. It was right there for them.
So, I can at least find out where you were at that time. Chipping golf balls, sleep, shower.
You can find out
for $29.99.
Yeah, for $29.95. I have another lawsuit. I spent a career, and I like to think a career that I was gracious to people. I like to think I was modest. I worked my butt off for 20 years to attain a certain wealth, and it's all gone. And I need to defend myself, and I need to raise and support my family.
Let me hit this break. When we come back, I want to ask you about your life. Back in a moment.
Flying the B3 with 2 live newts.
They were partners.
Very nicely done.
But 12 years of friendship.
What the hell are you doing? Oh!
Just went through the roof. 20th Century Fox presents...
The newts are gone. My former commander is trying to steal them.
A new film from John Woo.
Friendship is over.
John Travolta.
Outstanding, Hal.
Christian Slater.
You're out of your mind. Ain't it cool?
Broken Arrow. Rated R. Starts Friday, February 9th.
Why would you want to live in this dark world? Step into the light with Silk and Mist pantyhose from Legs. Sexy, sheer, luminous. Illuminate your legs and be beautiful. Irresistibly sheer, irresistibly you. Silk and Mist. Nothing beats a great pair of legs.
Hi, I'm Steve O'Brien. Millions of Americans suffer from negative credit ratings. Maybe due to a job loss, separation or divorce, an illness, billing dispute, or family crisis. Call National Credit now at 1-800-YES-CREDIT. That's 1-800-YES-CREDIT. Operators are standing by right now to give you the confidential information you may need to get back into the credit system. So all consumers who've ever had a credit problem, call National Credit at 1-800-YES-CREDIT for your confidential analysis.
Announcing a powerful breakthrough of incredible proportions. Incredibly small proportions. New Actron, a powerful pain reliever with ketoprofen, finally available without a prescription. Actron is so powerful, just 12.5 milligrams are as effective as 200 milligrams of Advil or 650 milligrams of Tylenol for headaches and body pain. New Actron, the pain reliever that's so small because it's so powerful.
Back with O.J. Simpson. Mr. Simpson, one of the things that people are concerned about, particularly African Americans, is whether or not you indeed fear for your life. There is a lot of hatred out there, whether we differ on the numbers of people, but it is very intense for you. Do you at all fear for your life?
You know, I can't give it any thought. I'm like, I try to be positive. My lawyers and family have insisted that I have security, which I have. But, you know, I can't live my life in fear, you know, and as I said, the negative, I try to ignore the negative and focus on the positive. If anything positive came out of this is, first of all, I know that I got some great friends who would just do just about anything for me. You know, in your life, they say if you got one good friend, you're way ahead of the game. But I got so many. I'm starting with Al Collins, AC. I got Bob Kardashian. I mean, it just goes on down the line. Some great friends. I've had the opportunity to speak with and meet some great Americans, black and white. And I think the thing I'm probably most proud of is that I think what America saw was a great family, black family. My sisters and my mother, my brother, I mean, you know, I always felt it. But I think I'm way ahead of the game there. I think if all American families were like my family, this country would be a lot better off.
What about the rest of your life? Future for you? You've already said, despite what people are talking about, you trying to regain your image. You know you're never going to be American.
No, I'm not trying to regain my image.
And that's what I'm saying. You, despite what they're saying, they're suggesting you are, and you're saying that you're not, and you understand that you're not going to be America's pitchman anymore.
No, yes, as I said, I don't have a PR person trying to help me at this point in time. I'm not looking to regain anything. What I'd like to do is raise my kids, spend as much time as I can with my family, especially my mom, who's here tonight. And play golf. You know, I have a lot of friends I like to give that camaraderie and support to in my life. I've been blessed that I've been able to help educate members of my family, members of my in-laws in both families, or attempt to educate. I've been able to help in their daily lives and in support and giving jobs to friends. And I like to think that I've shared myself and I've shared my success not only with my family but with the public. I may not be able to do that anymore. I would just like to be left alone, raise my kids, and as I said, my hobby and passion is golf and play a little golf.
I've got about 2 minutes left, Mr. Simpson. As best you can, tell those who look at this interview, look at you, look at your story with a skeptical eye, with a jaundiced eye, something that you feel might help them along in bringing them back to at least allowing you, as you say, as someone who's been through this system, the grace that you should have, in your words, because you were found innocent.
Well, this country has been a great country for 200 years because we have laws in this country. And like them or not, people have abided by those laws. There have been decisions made. Mike Tyson, a decision I didn't necessarily agree with, but he was convicted. He served his time. Many people in America say he's a racist. I mean, a rapist. I was accused of a crime. I feel vindicated in the court of law. I shouldn't be called anything but O.J. Simpson at this time. I didn't kill anybody. I could not kill anybody. Nicole Brown Simpson was the mother of my kids. She was a great mother. It hurts me today to know that my kids will not know her as a mother. I certainly would not have left my kids there to see that sign, that horrible, gruesome scene that was outside her house. I love my kids. I love Nicole. I could not have killed anyone, and I did not kill anyone. I'm an American, and I just want to be treated like an American. I want people to treat me the way I treated all of you. And for the last 20 years, I met thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, and I treated you what my mother always taught me, do unto others. I treated you like I wanted to be treated, and that's the only thing I'm asking now. If you don't like me, leave me alone. I'm not bothering you. Let me raise my family and give me the opportunity to earn a living and support my family and friends. All right. As best I can.
O.J. Simpson, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for giving me this opportunity.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For all of us at BET, I'm Ed Gordon. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for a 1-hour live special hosted by BET's Bev Smith. She'll be joined by George Curry, editor-in-chief of Emerge magazine. They'll be taking your phone calls and reaction. Again, thanks for joining us. Good night.
would like to purchase a transcript of the Simpson interview, please send $8 to Burrell's Transcripts, Post Office Box 7, Livingston, New Jersey, 07039-0007. To order by phone, please call 1-800-777-8398.
I never itemized before. Jackson Hewitt not only got it done, they got me a loan on my refund in 2 days.
I don't mind paying for quality. Jackson Hewitt did a better job in less time. Plus, I got my money faster, too.
You know, it's funny. Jackson Hewitt found deductions no one ever asked about. Got my refund faster, too.
Peter Barnes can't wait to shake his cold. Pills take time to dissolve, so he'll rush relief with the effervescent power of Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. It's ready the moment you take it, rushing powerful medicines to soothe your aches, relieve your runny nose, free your breathing. Nothing rushes relief like Alka-Seltzer Plus, or rush relief with new grape-tasting orange-flavored Alka-Seltzer Plus.
The remainder of Video Soap will not be seen tonight. Stay tuned for O.J. Simpson, Beyond the Verdict, Your Response, a BET special presentation.
Hello, I'm Bev Smith. Well, you heard it right here on BET. You heard it here first. O.J. Simpson's first exclusive interview with my colleague BET News anchor Ed Gordon. Now it's your turn. Tell us what you think about O.J. Simpson in the interview. Have your opinions changed about O.J. Simpson, or have they remained the same? Call us and let us know. The number to call is 1-800-344-2388. Our phone lines are open. 1-800-344-2388. If you live in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, the number to call is 202-832-0736. 202-832-0736. We want to hear from you. Joining us in the discussion are George Curry, editor-in-chief of Emerge magazine, and we've asked Michael Dyson, who is with the University of North Carolina as a professor, to rejoin us again. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Quickly, before we go to the phones, George, from the media's point of view, how would you rate the interview this evening?
I think Ed did an excellent job, and I tell you, I've been quite angry in recent days. People asking why BET and Jeff Lee, director of BET.
You mean other media?
Other media. And the best answer was, why not BET? They kind of thought that, it just surely can't be first class, and I think Ed Gordon did a first-class job.
Michael?
Yes, I think he pressed them hard. He followed up on many questions. I think he brought out some sides of O.J. that people will certainly be surprised by. And he forced O.J. to think about issues of race and class and gender in this country in ways that perhaps he hadn't been pressed to. So I think that Ed did an excellent job, and I think it's up to us now to make sense of what was said.
Before we go to the callers, let's make sense of one thing that he said. On the issue of O.J. Simpson's involvement with the African-American community and on the issue of O.J. Simpson's preference in women, how do you think? He's already smiling. How do you think he did? Meaning O.J.
I think O.J. did poorly, quite frankly. To me, when he gave this elongated answer saying, well, I contributed to the Little Pee Wee League in the housing project where I grew up, I gave a scholarship. It was this long and rambling answer. He did not answer the question directly as to why you can only date white women. He did not answer that.
Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll hear Michael's answer, and we'll get right to you. Our phone lines are open. It's time to lift your voice. We'll be right back.
So we have the beginning of our window of opportunity.
And it's wrong in America for this to be happening.
I wish to assert my Fifth Amendment privilege.
It was the trial of the century with a celebrity suspect.
Absolutely 100% not guilty.
Now, for the first time, O.J. Simpson speaks out in an exclusive 90-minute, unrehearsed, uncut, uncensored interview.
Your time between 9:36 and 10:53. Where were you? If you were innocent, why did you run? Did you kill Nicole Brown and Ron Golden?
This home video cassette documents his first public words and examines the controversial evidence found at his Rockingham home.
You're the only one who knows really the truth of what you said.
No, there's somebody else that knows the truth.
Who's that?
It's the person who killed him.
Whether you believe he is guilty or innocent, finally, the explosive, no-holds-barred interview. 1-800-OJ-TELLS. Judge for yourself.
Bet on Music, your music store on the air, is celebrating. Call now and order Bet on Music's special 15th year anniversary collector's edition, featuring chart toppers from the 80s and 90s. 36 hits in this one-time only offer. Call now to order the songs that make you dance.
With part-time lover. I'm looking for a new love, baby, a new love. Oh.
The songs that tantalize your innermost senses. Call now to order Bet on Music's 15th year anniversary compilation. Over 2 hours of solid hits.
All night long. Hey.
36 songs by the original artists, plus a booklet highlighting the artist and their commentary on BET. Yours now for only $29.95 for cassettes and $39.95 for CDs.
It's the way that I want to live. It's Mama, come on, baby, tell me what's the word.
The word is, Bet on Music's 15th year anniversary special collector's edition is available for a limited time only. Don't miss this celebration. Call now to order. Ask about the limited edition 15th anniversary collector's phone card offer. Operators are standing by, no CODs.
I did not commit those murders. I couldn't kill anyone, and I don't know of anyone that was involved. Anything that I might say along those lines would be pure speculation.
Welcome back. O.J. Simpson speaking live for the first time since the trial. Michael, before we go to the calls, one final comment on the issue of how O.J. Simpson handled the question of race.
Well, I think his worship of the white world remains undisturbed. His faith in white people remains unabated. I think O.J. Simpson is a colossal denial about how white people view him and about his own relationships with an America that has turned its back on him. The black people who love and support him, O.J. has left. The very white people that he loves have spurned him. He's in a twilight zone of racial consciousness, and I think he needs to be pressed hard and really to reconsider his own relationship to the people who have now spurned him.
That's Michael's opinion. We want to hear yours. The telephone lines are open, 1-800-344-2388, 1-800-344-2388. Local metropolitan area, you can call us at 202-832-0736. Let's go to the phone and say hello, California. What did you think of the interview? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hi. What did you think of the interview?
Well, I thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to hear O.J. I've always felt that he was innocent. I believe with the jury and what their verdict was, and I believe that the press and the media has really caused a lot of damage for him with some of the allegations that they've made, and I think that he does need to get on with his life. And I am a white woman. I am married to a black man. And I believe that there are a lot of white folks out there, including my 18-year-old parents in Vermont, who believe in O.J. and his innocence.
Let me ask you this, caller, before you say goodbye, and thank you for calling us. We're glad that you're out there watching. You are married to a black man. Did your life change after the O.J. trial or during the O.J. trial?
No, but I was a victim of spouse abuse for 16 years. I was married to a white man. And I met a lovely black gentleman. We fell in love, and we've been married for 13 years. And I found that there were a lot of black people who found that he was guilty and couldn't understand why I believed in him.
Thank you, caller. Okay. Thank you very much. Let's move along to the next caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. Hello, caller. Are you there?
Yes, hello.
Hello, caller.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I have a comment. I think that I started off the whole thing thinking he was guilty too. I'm a white person as well, but I think that I agree with him, and we should just all try to get this behind us. He was acquitted by the jury, and it's no matter what your doubts are, it's much better to send to set a guilty person free than put an innocent person in jail. And I just think that the whole country could get along a lot better if we could just get this all right behind us.
Quickly, Virginia, before I say goodbye to you, did the interview tonight with Ed Gordon change your mind about O.J.?
I think it just fairly opened up my mind a little bit and helped me to realize that this whole thing has been in the hands of the justice system, and there's really nothing else that we can do.
Well, thank you for your call.
Thank you.
George, I want to turn to you for a moment. A great deal of criticism was lobbied by O.J. Simpson against the media. Certainly, in the last couple of days, they have been referring to black entertainment television. How do you rate your colleagues in the media?
First of all, I don't think O.J. is totally justified in saying the media did this and media did that. This is an unusual trial in the sense that we had cameras in the courtroom, so we could see things, and so in a sense, this is probably one of the most open trials. When it comes to the commentary part, there is no question there's two different points of view, and the media reflects most of white America.
I have to take a break. We'll get right back to you, and to you out there. Remember, the phone lines are open. It's time for you to speak up about what you thought of the O.J. Simpson conversation right after this.
So we have the beginning of our window of opportunity.
And it's wrong in America for this to be happening.
I wish to assert my Fifth Amendment privilege.
It was the trial of the century with a celebrity suspect.
Absolutely 100% not guilty.
Now, for the first time, O.J. Simpson speaks out in an exclusive 90-minute, unrehearsed, uncut, uncensored interview.
Your time between 9:36 and 10:53. Where were you? If you were innocent, why did you run? Did you kill Nicole Brown and Ron Golden?
This home video cassette documents his first public words and examines the controversial evidence found at his Rockingham home.
You're the only one who knows really the truth of what you're saying.
No, there's somebody else that knows the truth.
Who's that?
It's the person who killed him.
Whether you believe he is guilty or innocent, finally, the explosive, no-holds-barred interview. 1-800-OJ Tells. Judge for yourself.
For a new perspective on the news affecting you, subscribe to Emerge, Black America's news magazine. Emerge shares its appreciation of music with you through a special offer of the Impulse Jazz CD sampler. Discover old school with new cool. Duke Ellington, John Coltrane, Pharoah Sanders, and more. Subscribe to Emerge and save when you get 10 issues for $18.95. Plus, receive a free CD with your paid order. So act on impulse. Call 1-800-908-6900. Order now. Give the gift of YSB and they'll unwrap more than a magazine, like knowledge, awareness, and pride. The more you give, the more you save. Save up to 50% off the cover price when you give more than one gift. The first gift is $14.95. All others are only $9.95. Plus, for each subscription, you'll receive the YSB Video Mix 2, featuring videos and performances from the hottest artists. Just call 1-800-228-1188 and give them what they really want this year. YSB Magazine.
Just moments ago, BET's news anchor Ed Gordon interviewed O.J. Simpson. We want to know what you had to think about it. Let's go to the phones. Hello, caller. What did you think of the interview?
Hello.
Hello, caller. What did you think of the interview?
Oh, yes. I thought the interview was very interesting. I'm calling from the Washington, D.C. area. I thought the interview was very interesting. I never thought O.J. was innocent, and I still don't think he is. I'm sorry. I don't think he was guilty, and I still don't think he is guilty. I still believe he has been roaming around in the white world so long, he still doesn't really have a real view of their opinion about him. But that is something he's going to have to come to grips with as he goes on.
Thank you for your comments. During her comments, Michael Dyson, you were shaking your head in agreement with her.
Yes. Well, I think that, again, O.J.'s denial is enormous, and the magnitude of it is just stunning to me in light of the fact that everywhere he turns, on whether it's electronic media, whether it's television, whether it's print journalism, that the opinions expressed against him by many white Americans overwhelmingly indicates that they think he's guilty and that he's a murderer and that he's gotten away with murder. And where he gets his opinion that most white folk are not predisposed to believing that he's guilty just is beyond me.
Are you saying that you don't think he realizes that he's a black man in America?
I still think that there are many, right. I think that more than that, more than his not recognizing he's a black man, is the degree to which O.J. is so in tune with the white world. Well, obviously not in tune with them, but so enamored by them, so bedeviled by them, that he's bewitched by them, that he doesn't have any consciousness of the way in which they've turned their backs on him. He's betrothed to white folk, but divorced from the very black communities that support him, and his consciousness is just at an all-time low.
Well, let's find out if the audience agrees with you. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi.
Really enjoyed the interview with Ed Gordon. Did better than anyone else could have done, Dan rather than anyone else. But my point that I wanted to bring up was that O.J. touched upon another point, which is that both the Goldman and the Browns seem to be taking this as an opportunity to make money themselves. I mean, how can they have not seen the abuse that was going along all this time and not do anything about it? And now that, you know, it's all over, she's gone, they're trying to capitalize on it, especially Denise. And I think it's really sad that that's going on, and they're taking advantage of the fact.
We thank you for your comments. Let's go to Colorado. Hello, caller. What did you think of the interview tonight?
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, I'm from Colorado.
Yes.
And I do believe that O.J. is innocent. I do not agree with, or I do not like the interview that he gave this evening. I thought that he evaded most of the questions. I do think that when he was asked about how he dates white women exclusively, that he avoided the question by saying that he gives scholarships and so forth, and that did not answer the question. The point was that he associates with white people, and therefore he would only meet white women and things like that. I agree that he's innocent and that the media, you know, played this up to the hilt. I just wish it was all over and that he could live his life as we all do.
Thank you for your comment in Colorado. Let's go back to our phones. Hello, caller. You heard the interview. Did it change your mind about O.J.? Caller? All right. While we're trying to get another caller. Hello, caller. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Do me a favor.
Sure, of
all
course.
of our callers. I want you to turn your TVs down. Don't listen and just talk to me. Quickly with your comment.
Okay. Quickly with my comment?
Quickly with your comment.
Yeah, I think the jury had to find him, acquit him, no question. I think he's guilty. I think it's grossly unfair that they are, like, boycotting him now. I think that's un-American. But I also feel the interview was not really a journalistic interview. It was a softball interview.
Okay, thank you for your comments. We'll take a break. This show is for you. Our phone lines are open, 1-800-344-2388. We'll listen to what you have to say right after these important messages.
So we have the beginning of our window of opportunity.
And it's wrong in America for this to be happening.
I wish to assert my Fifth Amendment privilege.
It was the trial of the century with a celebrity suspect.
Absolutely 100% not guilty.
Now, for the first time, O.J. Simpson speaks out in an exclusive 90-minute, unrehearsed, uncut, uncensored interview.
Your time between 9:36 and 10:53. Where were you? If you were innocent, why did you run? Did you kill Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman?
This home video cassette documents his first public words and examines the controversial evidence found at his Rockingham home.
You're the only one who knows, really, the truth of what you're saying.
No, there's somebody else that knows the truth.
Who's that?
It's the person who killed him.
Whether you believe he is guilty or innocent, finally, the explosive, no-holds-barred interview. 1-800-OJ-TELLS. Judge for yourself.
Coming up at midnight, BET looks at the making of the LA 96 calendar featuring Warren Moon, Willie Gault, Johnny Simpson, and
Upcoming wedding, meeting, seminar, convention, or special dinner? The Diplomat Banquet Center and the new Diplomat Best Western Hotel is a wise choice. With a seating capacity of 1,200, the Diplomat Banquet Center is ideal for any special occasion. And the new Diplomat Best Western Hotel has 92 elegant rooms for you to relax and unwind after your function. Call 647-1566 for details on the special Friday night wedding packages. The Diplomat Banquet Center and the new Diplomat Best Western Hotel, conveniently located off 390.
Before you go looking all over town, come to Olindo's new cash and carry warehouse for all your shopping needs. Olindo's stands for freshness and quality you and your family can count on. From domestic to imported, Olindo's carries a wide selection of specialty items. You get huge savings because there's no middleman. Compare their prices with what you're used to paying, and you'll see the difference. Before you go all over town, come to Olindo's, the right place for your shopping needs.
If you would like to purchase a transcript of the Simpson interview, please send $8 to Burrell's Transcripts, Post Office Box 7, Livingston, New Jersey, 07039-0007. To order by phone, please call 1-800-777-8398.
I think I've been a good American. I'm just as innocent as any of them. I should have the right to support my family and earn a living, and they have been blocking me or attempting to block me in every other avenue, every legitimate avenue that I have attempted to go down. And this was an opportunity that was presented to me. And if you want to hear it, you buy it. If you don't want to hear it, don't buy it.
So I guess that's the question I'm going to be asking some of you callers. Will you buy that tape? Let's go to our phone lines. Hello, caller. Will you buy the tape?
No, I would not buy the tape.
And why not?
Because I believe that O.J.'s trying to find a way to make money. If he did not commit the murder, then he doesn't have to worry about any of this. I think Ed Gordon did a great job. I think O.J.'s in denial, and I think that he's going to drive himself crazy, trying to believe something that isn't there.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's interesting, gentlemen, and I'll get right back to our phones. Our lines are open. We want to hear your voice. That I didn't hear the same thing when Klaus Buelow came out. I did not hear the Menendez. They had a film and a miniseries. Why is there so much hostility?
I mean, let's not ignore the whole question of race. Let's not ignore the whole point that this is a black man and a white woman. Now, O.J. is right about this. He has been acquitted. You know, so the people who had no objection to the Rodney King verdict when they saw the video are the same ones saying, oh, something's wrong with the criminal justice system, but they didn't say it earlier when you really blatant.
Nor did they say it about Mr. Bush. Let's go to the phones. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Don't listen to your TV.
No.
Okay.
I'm not, but there's a delayed reaction in audio.
Okay.
I think he was innocent. Well, he is innocent. The thing that gets me is that it's okay for the Goldmans and the Browns to give their point of view and to dog him as I see that they have done. But yet when he speaks out, you hear all the tabloids saying, oh, O.J.'s going to say this and say that, and he supposedly did this and did that. It's just, it reminds me of Michael Jackson. When he went through his ordeal, you know, they did the same thing about them. Both of them are supposedly fallen heroes, and we're not to look to them anymore. I think both of them are living in a dream world where the white people are only existing. And now that they've, you know, gone through these different ordeals, it's like, okay, we'll reach out to the black community because I know that they'll support me. And they're still there supporting them because we don't, you know, we don't believe that he did it. But then at the same time, they need to come back around and realize that, hey, the white people are the ones that are doing this to you. It's not the black people. We're here to support you. Even though I still think he's innocent, man, I think that Ed did a wonderful job as usual, but O.J. just needs to go on with his life and, you know, forget all about what the media's doing and everybody else and just go on.
Okay, a quick yes or no, and I really mean a quick. Will you buy the video?
No.
Thank you for your call. Do you think that African Americans in particular will be satisfied with the way he handled Ed's question, and Ed hammered it, about the issue of race?
Well, I think they'll be appreciative of the fact that Ed did hammer him. I don't think they'll be appreciative of the fact that O.J. answered directly. As George said, he was evasive. He avoided some of the harder questions, and he was, you know, giving these circumlocutionist answers that didn't really speak to the fact that he adores and worships white women, that he only dates them exclusively. He named one black woman. That was his former wife. He's not talking about Gretchen Van Stockton. He's not talking about Paula Barbieri. He's not talking about the infinite variety of white women that he has consumed on his trek toward the ideal white woman. So O.J. has not spoken in a very powerful way.
I'm going to leave that, George, and go right to the phones, okay? Okay. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What do you think? We have a problem with that call. Did you set that up, George?
Yes,
I knew you did.
Our problem is we hope against hope. And they were hoping that O.J. would change. People were tuning tonight hoping they'd hear something different.
Like
and it's
what?
The same
What
did
you
O.J.
hope that you were going to hear?
I think that a lot of us hoped that O.J. would say, look, I have been estranged from the African-American community. Yes, I've done a little Pee Wee League and all the other little things, but basically, I have gone on my way to avoid African-American, and I appreciate what they're doing, and I'm going to look at things.
You wanted him to thank us.
I want him to repent. Day of Atonement.
I'll go to the calls. A Day of Atonement, right to George. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What did you think of the interview?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm calling from Maryland, and I'm a 23-year-old black woman, and I'm calling because I am very proud of all the questions that Ed Gordon asked, but I am disappointed in O.J. Simpson because he went around every question there was. No question did he answer directly. I don't believe he gave the black community the answers they were looking for.
And what were you looking for, caller, quickly?
Especially about all the racial issues dealing with this case. O.J. didn't answer anything. He's still believing that these white people that he supposedly played for, that he supposedly were friends with, had parties with, and all these other things, even married into, are in his corner.
So you were disappointed?
I was very disappointed.
Thank you for calling. Hello, caller. Let's try to squeeze in one more call before the break. Hello, caller. Are you there? Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. What was your opinion?
I seriously believe that Mr. Simpson does live in a make-believe world and not realizing what his true roots are and how white America not just feels about him, but all of us that are black, when you really get down to it. However, I do take some exception just slightly with Mr. Curry's statement about how he responded as far as dealing with white women exclusively. That's that man's business, who he chooses to be with. And I don't think even I would come on television and expose a personal part of my life for the whole world to see. He is entitled to some sort of privacy, and he is entitled to have a choice in whatever he wants without any of us sitting in judgment of it.
George is just itching to get to you. George, I'm going to ask you to do this. We have to take a break. And when we come back, you can do that. But caller, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, one quick question before the break. So are you saying that you think that the question that Ed Gordon asked him about his relationship with white women, in that it appears that he dates more than black women, you felt that he shouldn't have answered it the right way, or it was none of Ed's business?
I don't think it was something that is anybody's business. I mean, BET itself puts on videos with black and white men and women in compromising situations. So, I mean, come on, let the man decide to be with whom he chooses to be. That's not a public, an issue for public debate. Okay. It's not an issue the black community has a right to sit in judgment of.
We hear you. We hear you loud and clear. We will hear George loud and clear right after these messages. Thank you, too.
So we have the beginning of our window of opportunity.
And it's wrong in America for this to be happening.
I wish to assert my Fifth Amendment privilege.
It was the trial of the century with a celebrity suspect.
Absolutely 100% not guilty.
Now, for the first time, O.J. Simpson speaks out in an exclusive 90-minute, unrehearsed, uncut, uncensored interview.
Your time between 9:36 and 10:53. Where were you? If you were innocent, why did you run? Did you kill Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman?
This home video cassette documents his first public words and examines the controversial evidence found at his Rockingham home.
You're the only one who knows really the truth of what you're saying.
No, there's somebody else that knows the truth.
Who's that?
It's the person who killed him.
Whether you believe he is guilty or innocent, finally, the explosive, no-holds-barred interview. 1-800-OJ Tells. Judge for yourself.
I never itemized before. Jackson Hewitt not only got it done, they got me a loan on my refund in 2 days.
I don't mind paying for quality. Jackson Hewitt did a better job in less time. Plus, I got my money faster, too.
You know, it's funny. Jackson Hewitt found deductions no one ever asked about. Got my refund faster, too.
February is all about Black history. Ray Charles celebrates 50 years in music. Go behind the scenes of When We Were Colored. Hear amazing gospel. Check out Quincy on the Q Factor. Then you may be shocked how others see you when pop culture's put under the microscope. And the King of Pop does the 15th anniversary gala during Black History Month on BET.
The expression causes elation as Black Cat shows appreciation in rhyme. For the arts one that exceeds all boundaries of time.
Well, of course, you know that George Curry, the editor of Emerge magazine, has to respond, George.
Well, since he invoked my name, of course I have an obligation to respond. This is the point. It's not a question whether O.J. can date women. Obviously, he got to wake up next door. He can date anybody he wants to. The question becomes, you can only date white women, usually blonde and blue-eyed, and you don't even consider all the other people around you, then that shows a certain amount of self-hate. And I stand by that.
Well, what about his point, and he made it several times, that he's an individual, he met Nicole, he fell in love with her,
Well, you know, as I argue between God and gangster rap, when I talk about O.J.'s relationship to a white woman, the fact is it is his personal choice. But even your personal preferences are shaped by the social world in which you live. O.J.'s predilection toward white women is not coming out of a vacuum and out of the sky. It's in a culture that valorizes and validates white ideals and standards of beauty and demonizes black women. When big lips are on Kim Basinger, they're attractive. When they're on Cicely Tyson, they're ugly. Secondly, I think what's happened, not only is O.J. in denial, most of the black people, many black people who support O.J. in denial. They're still looking for something for O.J. that he cannot deliver, and the reason they're expecting it from him is because he's black, and we are in a fog of race as well by refusing to penetrate that fog and to really judge the evidence. We don't give average black men or women the benefit of the doubt that we give O.J. If that had been an average brother on the street, this is what we would have said to him. Brother, look like this year you about to go to jail, because the evidence is definitely against you. See you, and I wouldn't want to be you.
And with that, I'll go to the calls. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Yes, how you doing?
I'm fine. Welcome.
Okay, I'm calling from Maryland. I wanted to comment to the test what people are saying about O.J. being an immersion to the white world. I'm a serious believer that we're all a product of the environment that we're raising. O.J. was acclimated into, as he succeeded, into the white world. That's this environment. But we also have to take the lesson to be learned that we are suffering from that ourselves, blacks and whole. We need to ask ourselves that question. What environment are we a product of? We need to realize that we are our own worst enemy, because with the environment, through the education system we were brought to, we think badly upon ourselves.
So you think we're suffering as a group of people from the same problem that O.J. has, in your opinion?
Yeah, we expect him to wake up overnight, but we're not even waking up overnight.
Okay.
So it's contradictory for us to
pass judgment?
Pass judgment on him, when we need to look at ourselves collectively as a whole and get that same message that we're putting on him.
Thank you so much for your call. By the way, our phone lines are open, 1-800-344-2388, 1-800-344-2388. We want to hear from you, America. You want to make a comment.
Well, I think that the caller made an excellent point, but here's what we have to deal with. Black folks certainly have to wake up. But when we talk about waking up overnight, O.J. Simpson is nearly 50 years old. When he writes in his book, I want to tell you, again, about racism, that he ignored it, he denied it, he was surprised by it. This sort of naivete is stunning. O.J. Simpson faced some of the most lethal, pernicious forms of racial discrimination in American culture directed against black people, and to come out of that not knowing the penalties and the costs and consequences of being black is a deliberate act of denial that we cannot defer judgment about. We have to analyze that and render judgment in a critical way.
And he is in deep denial. There's no question about that. He is in deep denial. If you listen to him tonight, he's in the fairyland. Yeah. Absolutely make-believe world. I don't believe but the polls. In other words, don't confuse me with the facts.
Let's go to the phones. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm calling from Washington.
Yes.
And I saw the interview, and I thought it went well. And I tend to think that O.J. is quite in tune with who he is. I think I liked when he answered the question, where do they want me to go? Back to Africa? You know, I think that was supposed to tell America, you know, something about how he feels about himself and who he is.
And what do you think that was supposed to tell?
I think it was supposed to tell that he is quite aware of who he is, a black man in America. And he was really talking about the race issue.
Okay.
Where did they want him to go? Back to Africa? And,
okay.
you know, if you were looking at him, he wanted to say more, but he didn't. But that should have said enough to me, you know, as far as him not knowing who he is and what he is. Okay. You know, his preference of woman is something else. I mean, you know, if we're going to support him, we support him, you know, with conditions, provided he do this or provided he do that. You know, that is his personal life, and I'm a black American woman.
All right, we thank you for your call.
You're welcome.
Let's take another call quickly. Hello, caller. Thank you for holding.
Hi.
Hi, you saw the interview. What did you think?
I must admit, I have to say that from the get-go, I've always thought that O.J. was guilty, even more so when I watched the trial. I still believe he was guilty. I was upset at the non-guilty verdict. However, I do believe after watching this interview this evening that that man is entitled to live his life as a free person the way anyone else should be able to, he was found not guilty by our government system, and people shouldn't keep persecuting him. I also would like to say that a comment Professor Dyson had made earlier, I am a white 35-year-old white woman, and I, in the beginning, in the middle, and even now, I did not believe that O.J. Simpson was guilty because he is a black man. The fact that he is black had absolutely nothing to do with my feeling that he was guilty or innocent.
So what did? Quickly, what did?
It was based on the information that I had heard in the preliminary hearing, and then, of course, in the trial. I truly believe that there was enough evidence that found him guilty. I just thought that the prosecution and the DA's office in L.A. dropped the ball, and they had a lot of mistakes for several reasons. So, of course, he was found not guilty. However, I still believe he is guilty, but he was found not guilty, and he should be allowed to go on and live his life that way. One other quick thing, I've noticed on television programs, they are blocking his number, his 800 number for his videotape. And it was a comment he made in the interview this evening, which I thought was interesting. He should be able to make a livelihood. And even though I am for the Brown and the Goldman, whenever they have things that are happening where they are trying to raise money, no one ever blocks their 800 numbers to whatever it is that they're trying to raise.
So you
their
don't
money.
think it's fair? You don't think it's fair?
I really don't. I really don't think that's fair, especially since he was found not guilty. I think that's the part that we should try to live with and deal with from this point on.
We thank you for your call. Do we have time to squeeze another call in real quickly? Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What did you think?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. O.J. asked the question during the interview, how low down did they want him to lay? The they meaning white people. After listening to some of the comments after the verdict, I think they want him 6 feet under, and he needs to realize that. He also mentioned Greta Van Susteren. She's a fair human being. I really enjoyed her interviews during the trial. But those people who are saying boycott a man who has went through a legal system and was found innocent, people like Geraldo Rivera, Dominique Dunn, Gloria Allridge, Melody Lomax, Faye Resnick, and the rest of them.
Making money.
Making money. None of these people I have heard say anything about Mark Furman. I think we need to boycott them.
Thank you for your comment.
Cancel the descriptions of
We'll
them.
take a break, and when we come back, what about those people making those kind of comments that really reflect on all of us who are black? The answers right after this.
I never itemized before. Jackson Hewitt not only got it done, they got me a loan on my refund in 2 days.
I don't mind paying for quality. Jackson Hewitt did a better job in less time. Plus, I got my money faster, too.
You know, it's funny. Jackson Hewitt found deductions no one ever asked about. Got my refund faster, too.
BET's Caribbean Rhythms presents Jamaica Me Sweat, the workout video. Work out and sweat with dancehall queen Patra, the hottest new collection of reggae music, and some of the best fitness instructors in the country. You'll benefit from the workout and learn the butterfly and other dance moves. Just watch this.
That's it. Sideways. Give me a body spread, please.
This is an exercise video like no other. You can work out in the morning and dance into the evening. No more step aerobics, no more boring routines. A solid workout program with great music. If you order the video now for $19.95, we'll send you a free CD or cassette audio track of the music. A $32 value for only $19.95. Order now while supplies last.
For a new perspective on the news affecting you, subscribe to Emerge, Black America's news magazine. Emerge shares its appreciation of music with you through a special offer of the Impulse Jazz CD sampler. Discover old school with new cool. Duke Ellington, John Coltrane, Pharoah Sanders, and more. Subscribe to Emerge and save when you get 10 issues for $18.95. Plus, receive a free CD with your paid order. So act on impulse. Call 1-800-908-6900. Order now.
We have so many people who want to talk about the interview you just saw between our news anchor, BET's, Ed Gordon, and, of course, O.J. Simpson. Let's go to the phones. Hello, caller. Welcome. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I wanted to call and say that I thought Ed did an excellent job with the interview, and I believe that O.J. was innocent, and I think this interview has not changed my opinion any, but I also feel that he's in tune with himself, and I think the black community is wrong to try to judge him of whether he is going to date a white woman to continue. That's his private business.
So that does not bother you?
No, it does not bother me. I am a black woman, and we all have problems, dealing with the right race in this community. And I think he needs to have an opportunity to go on and live his life.
Okay, we thank you so much. There is something that Ed brought up, and that O.J. responded to, and quickly I just want you to respond. Do you know, ever since we announced here at BET that we were going to do this interview and that Ed Gordon was going to do, and we should congratulate him, a job, it seems to me that the white media has simply said we're not qualified. Not seems to me, they have. We're not qualified, we can't do the job, and who is Ed Gordon anyway? Is that what we're talking about?
Well, this is what O.J. needs to realize. He's in with us whether he wants to be or not. And we're all painted with that same brush, and there's a certain amount of jealousy there. They wish they had it. And they said, oh, it's terrible. But they were tuned in tonight. They wish they could have had this interview.
Show up on
and they
this
thought
show.
he would do a poor job, and he proved them wrong.
Well, it's the same thing with the jury. Black folk can't convict black folk, and they never question themselves. Whiteness is never questioned as an identity, as a fractured identity, because it's always assumed to be universal. If they do it, it's fine. If black people do it, it's inferior. And I think what we're dealing with here is, as George said, what white folk have to contend with is that nobody's universal, everybody's particular, and what we have to do is acknowledge that our particularity is the basis upon which we see the world.
Let's take a call.
Okay, I went through this.
Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. Hello, caller. What did you think?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Outstanding.
Good.
I'm calling from Alexandria, and I live in Alexandria, but I work in law enforcement. And some of the things I want to talk about is I think we forget race for just a moment. This jury system has worked for so many years, putting young blacks in jail, drug dealers. Let's say that. It's worked. But as soon as it doesn't work, there's a flaw in it. We've been successful in prosecuting legitimate criminals. But now when we have a chance where there's a doubt, there's a problem. And my point is, working in law enforcement, I see this, and I'm very upset with fellow law enforcement in L.A. that didn't stand up and say, wait a second, you mean to tell me we have a veteran detective, we have detectives that are supposed to be the A-team. When there's a big crime, you bring them in, and these are the people that you know this is going to be a high-profile case, and all the mistakes that they admitted and don't admit really worries me, because what are they doing in other cases?
Well, they are admitting it because there is a Justice Commission right now, and there are several police officers, two that I can think of in particular, who have had 100 cases reopened because of all the inconsistencies and because of the things that they did that were wrong. So they're doing that. They're doing that, and we thank you for your comment.
Listen, hindsight is 20/20, and of course they're doing that. But why? How come it took this case to bring it out? Is my problem.
Now that's an interesting point.
That's the point I want to bring up.
And I mean, these charges of the abuses against the LA Police Department have been going on for years and years before Rodney King. Don Jackson, who was a police officer himself, was beaten by fellow police officers.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And people are surprised. I mean, I talked to white officers and white people who are actually surprised. Oh, officers would never say this. Officers would never do that. And I'm from the field, and I believe that 99% of them are good, but you have to be realistic that some of these people put on a face at work and put on a face outside of work.
And if they're in the U.S. Army, they don't even put a face on outside. We thank you for your comment. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Yes, I'm a black male in Virginia, and O.J. is guilty, no question. I believe he's guilty. I know he's guilty.
How do you know he's guilty?
I challenge you, O.J., to take a lie detector test.
How do you know he's guilty?
Lie detector test. And also, the blacks, I'm black, we don't owe you any allegiance. You turn your back on us. We have Uncle Toms like you on my job. Well, we need support from the
Okay, hold it a minute, sir.
We can't get any help from you. Where were you when Jesse Jackson needed you to support the cause of getting corporate America and NFL to get more blacks in the management position? Where were you when the million-man march?
All right. We thank you. I just don't want us to take all the problems that are in the black community and dump them on the shoulders of one black man because, sir, if I had the time, I would ask you, where were you? Let's take a call. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Bev.
Hi.
I'm calling from Maryland, and first I want to congratulate BET for getting the interview. That is one thing white America cannot take from us. He did give us the interview, and I think Ed Gordon did a fine job. And for those who are questioning who is Ed Gordon, I would say look at him. He's a fine black man and a role model.
We also have to congratulate Cheryl Martin and all of the people who worked so hard to make this possible.
The whole BET network. Hats off to you. I'm calling because basically I feel I'm a black 35-year-old female, and what I want to say here is really it's not about is he innocent, is he guilty, is it a black or white thing. I have 3 quick points to make. One is on the back of our American money. It says, "In God we trust." Okay, the Bible says,
we're almost out of time. Real quick, in God we trust.
The Bible says, "Judge ye not, for ye shall not be
Lest
judged."
ye be judged.
And third point is, he that is without sin, let him cast the first stone.
Thank
I
you
would
so
say
much.
to America, take this whole trial as a mirror to reflect on ourselves and say, what do we need to do to clean our own house, and let O.J. clean his.
Thank you so much. We'll take a break, and when we come back, final comment. Oh, we're out of time. We thank you so much for joining us. This is probably a conversation that will be going on and on and on. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with you. And thanks to all of the people who worked so hard to make this go. And thank you, O.J. Simpson, for making all those people who said you wouldn't show up for black entertainment television. Thank you for proving that they were wrong. Until the next time, may the good Lord bless you.
You loved O.J.'s first post-trial video, O.J. Simpson, The Interview.
Did you kill Ron and Nicole? I did not kill Ron and Nicole.
Now enjoy the parts you didn't see.
I am 100% not guilty. I could not. Line?
Have killed Ron and Nicole?
Cut. Can I take another stab at it?
It's O.J. Simpson, The Interview, bloopers, blunders, and boners. The wackiest, most outrageous bleeps, bloopers, and blunders of the century. From The Interview of the century.
Now, O.J. supposedly ran back here and bumped his head on the air conditioning unit, dropping the bloody glove. Now, I think I know where my own air conditioning unit is. Now, I was a running back in the NFL for many years, avoiding linebackers. I would really have no problem negotiating something like that.
O.J., are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Who put that there, Furman?
Hilarious since the Towering Inferno.
This is the glove that I allegedly wore on the night of the murders. Now, as you can clearly see, it does not fit. As you can clearly see, it does not fit. As you can clearly see, it does not fit.
Funnier than Johnny Cochran's Colombian drug lord defense.
So many questions. Where's O.J.? Where's O.J.? Where's O.J.? Where's O.J.? Now, anyone who knows O.J. knows that I am first and forthright a family man. I enjoy nothing more than tossing a football around with my firstborn son, Jordan.
It's Jason, Dad.
I knew that.
Goofier than Robert Shapiro's defense of Michael Jackson.
Battery is not just a one-way street, and I tried to keep my cool.
Cut.
I really tried.
OJ, one small thing. Don't use the word battery. It doesn't sound right.
That's what's on the computer. That's what's on your computer. That's what's on the computer.
Zanier than F. Lee Bailey's Big House Home Video.
When all is said and done, OJ, you're the only one who really knows what happened that night. Yep.
OJ, only the real killers know.
Oh. Right. In closing, I would like to say once again that I am 100% not guilty. I did not commit these heinous murders, and I will not rest until real... I will not rest. I will not rest until the real killers are found. I'm gonna chase them down. Wait. All right. You talk, OJ. You talk.
O.J. Simpson, The Interview. Bloopers, blunders, and boners. We've slashed the price. A bargain at only $29.95. Call 555-0132.
The video is finally here. Work out with O.J. and help him pay his bills.
That's right. Now follow along with me. Run it in place strengthens your hamstring and lower calves. Ain't that right, Kato?
You said it, dude.
Now for your upper body. Ask your wife to join you. Where's Nicole, Kato?
Over there talking to Goldman.
Nicole, get your ass over here, you paid. How many times I got to tell you, you bitch? I'm gonna whoop your ass good. Now, the swinging motions of my arms develops shoulder muscles and helps ease carpal tunnel syndrome on your wrist.
To order your O.J. workout video, call 1-800.
I did it!
Well, you're definitely guilty. You're definitely a bad